Hello everyone, welcome back to more Cardinals, Madden 03, Arizona Cardinals to be exact, where the goal here is we just want one. We're trying to get a single Lombardi, at least one, and we're off to a pretty good start until the St. Louis Rams, our first game against the St. Louis Rams in this series a couple weeks ago, brought us back down to earth. The Rams put hands on us in front of our own home crowd, embarrassed us, and then we bounced back and put a shellacking on another division rival in the Seahawks. Today's opponent, as you saw, is the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, the Philadelphia Eagles are a much more fearsome bird nicknamed team than we are. They're currently in the middle of a 3-year run in real life where they would lose 3 straight NFC Championship games before they would finally win one and then lose the Super Bowl, spoiler alert, to Tom Brady and the Patriots. So they have an amazing team here. Obviously, as you saw statistically, like every game so far this year, they outnumber us quite a bit, and it's mainly because of that man right there, as you see on your screen, number 5, Donovan McNabb, one of the best quarterbacks just of this time, this generation, one of the best Eagles quarterback. Probably Eagles fans would argue that he is the best Eagles quarterback, but I don't know. But they got Donovan McNabb. They have Deuce Staley. Before he would go to the Steelers, I believe, in a couple of years, as well as many other notable players that I'm sure the Eagles faithful can pick out strictly just by number. So there you see, even after our loss to the Rams, we are still sitting in a good spot. We still have a good lead in our division as far as like the 49ers and Seahawks go, who we've already beat. So if we can get back into the win column, then things can still go well for us. We still have a chance for playoffs. Yes, playoffs. I'm going to talk playoffs. I'm going to drop the P word because it is still possible at this moment in time, but we have a tough schedule. We have the Eagles today right now in Philadelphia, and then we have the Raiders next week back home before we get some easy games. So we got to put all of our eyes focused on playing good ball and focused today because we have to play tight if we want to win in front of a tough Philly crowd. This may be the city of brotherly love, but we know that is very far from the truth. As first down, Freddie Jones gets us moving upfield, and Thomas Jones will also get us moving upfield as he gets brought down to the 40-yard line. 2nd and 5, we're going to go with Jones again. Stick with the ground game. We break off a tackle in the backfield, but we're not going very far. So 3rd and short, we need to convert here. The pressure's on with Plummer. We make an awkward throw across our body, but we do find David Boston close to the midfield logo there, and that will keep this drive alive. 1st and 10 now. Plummer's going to drop back. He's got a lot of time to look, and he drops it all the way downfield. He had Sanders and Boston going across the middle, but Boston is the one who came down with it. And so he is already making a huge contribution on our first offensive drive of the game, like he always does. But we're going to head to Thomas Jones again and see what he can do as he shakes off another tackle in the backfield. And a whole bunch of Eagles players get together to try and bring him down. And he awkwardly does go down. So 2nd and short now. We're going to flip this one across the middle. And we're going to find Freddie Jones, the tight end, again, who's already got his 2nd reception of the game. He's someone who I wanted to get involved a lot more so far this season, but haven't really called his number too many times. So, and now we have a very nice red zone opportunity here, but we almost gave it away with a very dangerous decision by Plummer. So 2nd and goal now from about the 9-yard line. Plummer's going to drop back. There's a penalty marker on the field, but we find Boston, who's in for 6. But thanks to an egregious hold, we're going to have to scrub that off the board and move a little bit further back. So we already had a pretty long goal-to-go situation, and it's going to be even further now as we are close to about the 19-yard line. So shotgun formation again. We're going to go for the win the game button, the David Boston button, and it works as Boston comes down with it, and he's got 6 of his own. He said, regardless of what happens, throw as many flags as you want. I'm going to get myself a touchdown in this game. And he does, as Grammatica sends this one through and extends our lead to 7 early on here as we kill a good 4 minutes off the clock. Now, that is important, man. You control the game, make it a shorter game. And we want to try and give the Eagles as few opportunities as we can to score because with this high-powered offense, we know they can. And already they get a very solid return. I was getting pretty scared when I played this. But we need to play a little bit tighter here now. We need to see if our defense can hold strong here as McNabb drops back now and takes all day to throw, and it pays off because he finds his man along the sideline. Donovan McNabb dropped that perfectly in a bucket, and already the Eagles are working in Cardinal territory. It just took one play. So McNabb's going to do a delayed handoff to Staley now, who doesn't have a whole lot of room, and he gets brought down by about the 35-yard line. 2nd and 10 now for the Eagles. McNabb wants some quiet now from a rowdy Philly crowd. And McNabb's going to pitch to Staley. They're going to go with Staley again on the ground, and this time he's got room on the outside. He tries to spin away from the open field tackle, and he cannot escape it, as our strong safety Wilson makes a good play there. So 3rd and short. Can the Eagles keep their drive alive as they send the tight end in motion? McNabb's going to go with another handoff to Staley, and he has just enough. We seem to have that one covered pretty well, but no one was really in the backfield to cover Staley before he could get across the marker. So pretty easy play that we should have had covered up, but it's fine now. Last play of the first quarter, McNabb's going to look over his options, pump fake, and he finds Lewis, the tight end, who shakes off a defender and moves upfield. He gets brought down by about the 5-yard line. So the Eagles, man, not just all this talent, man, but they got the strength as their tight end shakes off our rookie linebacker, LeVar Fisher, like he is just not even there. He said, what fly was that? Was it a fly that hit me? Scary, man. I know we don't have the best tackle stats, but we got to do a little bit better. As the first quarter comes to a close, and our early touchdown, I guess late touchdowns, we scored late in the first quarter, is the difference maker so far now. But the Eagles have a goal-to-go situation. Can they convert and add 6 of their own? As Donovan McNabb's going to drop back now and look over his options, and he drops that one in the corner and finds Thrash all alone. I don't know what was going on there. He must have thrown Dwayne Starks for a loop. I believe that's who was covering him. He wasn't even in bounds when that ball got to him. So, rough defensive performance so far as the Eagles make pretty easy work of our defense. So we're going to need to work a little bit faster here as the pressure gets to Plummer. We actually had a good bit of time there. I guess I just took too long to find an open man. We're going to skip to 3rd and 10 now. Can we keep our drive alive following the Eagles' touchdown as we almost throw another interception? Poor decision-making here. Plummer doesn't have that many interceptions on the season, especially compared to the Northwestern series, where I have 1 million interceptions, but it must be because we're getting bailed out like that. But the Eagles have the ball now as we make a good play there and knock that one incomplete. They're going to go to Staley, who shakes off a man, gets some fancy moves, but he bounces off a block and is heading backwards. He had a ton of room there. If he could have just found the lane there and shimmied past, he'd be gone potentially. So a 3rd and short situation for the Eagles. Can we stop him here and contain them and get the ball back? So they're going to go with Staley again, and he's got just enough wiggle room on the line of scrimmage to get past the marker. So the Eagles' drive will continue. We're going to have to find a way to contain to Staley. But we hold the Eagles here to a 3rd and 10 following their first down. But he finds his tight end again, Lewis, who has the ball at the marker, but doesn't quite have enough. So they're going to send out David Akers and his powerful leg to try and convert, and they absolutely do. Solid 48-yard field goal converted by the Eagles. So now they take a 3-point lead as we get an opportunity with the ball again. Late in the second quarter here, we're going to try and add some points. We've got 3 minutes to do it. So let's try and work a little bit efficiently here as Plummer drops back and sidearms that one and can't quite connect with the receiver. So already looking at a 3rd and 10 here. We're going to drop back now, look across the middle, and we find Sanders going towards the right side, who has the catch, but he gets absolutely stopped. He gets stuffed, and so we cannot convert. So we're going to punt this one away back to the Eagles, who now have plenty of time to add on to their 3-point lead if they so choose to. 1st and 10 in the offset eye. McNabb's going to drop back and throw it to the fullback, who's got a little bit of room in front of him. But Dwayne Starks and a couple other Cardinals are there quickly to make the tackle. But not before the Eagles can pick up a nice solid chunk of yards. And our defense is struggling to contain, as we only have 1 stop on the day, and it resulted in a field goal for the Eagles. So we still really haven't stopped him quite yet, and we're going to continue to not do that as Donovan McNabb takes his time and finds Thrash again. Our safety Wilson there just didn't have a chance. So 1st and 10 for the Eagles. They got 2 minutes left here, and they're going to find Lewis again. LeVar Fisher tried to make a play on the ball and cut that one off, but he could not. He was just a little bit late. And there's an injured Eagle on the ground. But now the Eagles got goal to go here with just 1 minute and 50 seconds left. Donovan McNabb's going to send a receiver in motion here. And drop back, and it's a delayed handoff to Staley, who's got all the room, and he gets brought down in the end zone. So that's another Eagles touchdown here. And the lead is now going to go to 9, pending this extra point. So we really needed the two things I really wanted. I wanted some tight defense, and I wanted some quick and efficient offense, and I have neither. That first opening drive was really beautiful as we killed a lot of time off the clock, and we haven't been able to do anything like that since. So we're going to try and do something quick and magical here with only a minute and a half left to really operate as we go in the ground game with Thomas Jones, and he doesn't have a lot. So 2nd and 7. We're going to flip this one out, try to go deep to Boston, and Vincent makes an amazing interception. That was essentially just a jump ball, and normally Boston comes down with those, but we finally, our luck ran out here after we threw a couple obvious just boneheaded throws. That one actually got to Boston, but Vincent was there to cut that one off and make it an amazing interception here, and now the Eagles got the ball heading the other way, right around midfield with just a minute left to go. So can the Eagles add even more points to their already 10-point lead here before the half is over? As McNabb's going to flip that one out to Martin, the fullback again, who has another catch. So I know the fullbacks are pretty useful at this point in time in the league, but I never really thought of them as receiving threats. But looks like the Eagles spreading the ball out quite a bit now. So we got to 3rd and short here for the Eagles. See if they can keep their drive going so they can add a little bit more points. They only got a minute left in the half, and we are all over that run play here. Probably the first time all day, at least it's what it feels like, where we had Staley dead to rights in the backfield. We had McKinnon, the big linebacker, all over that one. Staley was not getting past us that time, so we're going to call timeout here and see if we can't get the ball back. But hold on. We got some laundry on the field. We got the yellow hanky here. And so the Eagles commit a bit of a dumb mistake here as they're not watching the play clock. So that one's going to move the ball back even further for us as we get a little bit more room here, hopefully, to operate as we escape the one defender there, and we cut up field and add about 10 or 15 more yards to our original spot here if we would have just fair caught it. So 1st and 10, we got 48 seconds. What can we do? We're in the shotgun formation. We're going to drop back with Plummer and find Boston across the middle, but hold on, there's another hanky on the field. Looks like their linebacker got a little handsy with the face mask, so give us another 5 yards. We will happily take that, as the Eagles are playing some scrappy football. And they have another injury on the field. Their previous injury sidelined their player for the rest of the season. Notice that. So pretty wild here. As we float this one out, we find David Boston deep in double coverage. He makes the play yet again. I don't care how predictable it is. I don't care how formulaic it is. If it keeps working, we're going to keep doing it. You can't just keep leaving him in those kind of matchups. He's going to mosh you all day. So 36 seconds left. We are now in the red zone here. What can we do to converge? The pressure's on to Plummer, and we find Jenkins across the middle. And we have another Eagles penalty. A rare pass interference in these old Madden games. Very rare pass interference. That's the first one we've had called all season for or against us. So we'll take another first down here. It's a 1st and goal. So we got to work fast here with 30 seconds, and that is not working fast. That is working backwards as that left in here, Bird just grinds through untouched. So we're out of timeout, so we are unfortunately going to have to send out Grammatica to try and add 3 points for us, and he does as time expires. So we're going to cut this lead down to just 7. It's manageable. The Eagles have been playing solid football, but we put something together there towards the end. We still have the edge in time of possession, but we have that one interception. But it's a mostly even game. The score kind of reflects that. It's not like normal where the good teams are making a lot of mistakes and we just kind of capitalize on them and manage to win. The Eagles are playing really airtight ball here, aside from the kind of the breakdown of penalties they had towards the end of the first half. But other than that, they are doing fine. As Deuce Staley is loose now, breaking some tackles, and he's got a first down. We got to get better about defending the run. And already at this point in the season, I'm just thinking about what we can do in the offseason, where we need to shore up our game. And the D-line is probably a huge one, as we only really have 1 or 2 solid dudes on that D-line. As McNabb drops back and has all day to throw, this is what I'm talking about, and he finds his man Mitchell going towards the right side. He is short of the first down marker, but man, he had an eternity to make that decision. So 2nd and short for the Eagles offense now, just past midfield. Can they convert here and get what they need? We would look for them to go to Staley, but McNabb drops back and keeps it. And he finds Mitchell on an island yet again. who makes the catch. And he just throws off Starks. Dwayne Starks has been kind of MIA so far this game, giving up some pretty big plays there on his side, which is not likely for him with the season that he's had. So 1st and 10 now. The Eagles are working it even further into Cardinal territory. McNabb's going to drop back, and now the pressure's kind of in his face, but he finds Mitchell again. We had 4 Cardinals over there. How did he make that catch? Oh, man, only Donovan McNabb's going to fit that window in there. He said, you know what, I think I can get that one in there. These guys aren't going to do it. These amateurs aren't going to make that play. So another 1st and 10 for the Eagles as finally they do go back to Staley, who doesn't have much room, but he can shake off as many tackles as he wants. We still have him pretty well contained, but, man, that ability to just break off at least 2 or 3 tackles each play is raw. That's going to kill us. 2nd and 7 now for the Eagles. McNabb's going to drop back, and he finds Westbrook, the Brian Westbrook, who would be kind of the big man for the Eagles as far as their running game is concerned. Toward kind of in the mid-2000s, later 2000s, Deuce Staley leaves, but he comes off the bench and even makes a big impact here. So, literally everybody is getting involved in the Eagles offense today as they extend their lead to 14 points. So a pretty sizable deficit. It seems insurmountable with how the second quarter at least went for us. But we were putting something together there towards the end of the half, so let's see if we can continue that momentum as we go to Thomas Jones, who's got a little bit of room, but hold on. Our left guard gets a little bit too much of the jersey, gets a little bit too under the pad there. So we are going to be moving even further back here. We had a solid gain there with Thomas Jones on 1st down, but now we're going to have to try and fight something back. We're going to go with another run play, see if we can maybe get it like 7 or 8, but we end up getting maybe 1 or 2. So we're going to have to think of something different here. As it is 2nd and 18 now. We're in the shotgun formation, and you know what we're going to do. Find Boston deep, and it is dropped. Plummer put it there. He put it where it had to be. Probably could have led Boston by maybe a couple more yards, but solid throw, and Boston just couldn't come down with it. Good coverage there by the Eagles. So 3rd and 18, what's the plan now? What are we going to do here? We try and get it to Jenkins going across the middle. We definitely had him there, but I think I threw that one probably too late, and the Eagles cover that one. So we're going to have to send this one back to the Eagles and see if we can get a good stop on defense, as we nearly have that one intercepted. Kwame Lassiter, free safety was all over that ball and tipped that one. That was nearly intercepted. So 2nd and 10 now for the Eagles, as McNabb's going to drop back. And that one was just a miscue there. I think he had his man. He had the window again, but that one just sails into the dirt. So 3rd and 10 now for the Eagles. Can we come up with a nice stop here? Keep him from entering Cardinal territory? And no, we cannot. As Donovan McNabb finds his man. That's a new name that I haven't called yet. His first catch of the day. And the Eagles not only have a 1st down, but they are now in Cardinal territory. So McNabb's going to send the tight end in motion. And he's going to hand this one off to Staley, who's got a huge wide open gap. But Wilson, our strong safety, is there to make the play and stop Staley from potentially getting about 40 or 50 more yards. So 2nd and short now. Can the Eagles convert as they come out in the I formation? McNabb's going to send another man in motion and just snap the ball anyway. He's got all this time, no pressure in his face, and he finds Mitchell again, who picks up the 1st down for the Eagles and gets brought down at about our 30-yard line. So another 1st and 10 for the Eagles as time winds down underneath a minute here in the 3rd quarter. We got to start making something happen fast and stop this offense, man, this high-powered offense, as we cover that run play well. 2nd and 8 now for the Eagles, just less than 30 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. And very odd play. I think that one just kind of broke down. The CPU just said, you know, we'll go down with the ship. We'll throw it anyway. As McNabb throws it to Staley, basically sitting at the line of scrimmage, and he goes nowhere. And so that'll bring the 3rd quarter to a close. We sit 14 points down in this high-powered Eagles team. It's a battle of 7 and 2s, but I think we both know who's the better team here. So 3rd and 9 for the Eagles, though, and they just might be in David Akers' range. So if we got to stop them here, and we do get a stop, as Deuce Staley had the room. Went to the outside again. That going outside on the left is kind of what he likes to do, but we were able to stop him. So they're going to bring out David Akers again, and he is ice, baby, 100%. Had a 48-yarder, and now that one was a 38-yarder. So the Eagles extend their lead to 17. 17. Aside from the 24-0, loss shellacking that we took. This is probably one of the bigger deficits that we've kind of held or been put in all season long, as we find Boston across the middle, who gives us another first down. So I knew, remember I talked about this would be a gauntlet of like 5 games, right, where we had the 49ers in Candlestick, we had the Rams at home, we had Seattle at home, and then we had to come here and play the Eagles. And so far I think we've played mostly okay, but the Eagles are definitely bringing us back down to earth, much like the Rams did a couple weeks ago. But regardless of how strong the Eagles are playing, for some reason they cannot stop David Boston on the streak. As we get a huge bailout by David Boston, a huge first down, we have a chance to add some more points here as we floated across the middle and find Sanders. A rare Sanders touchdown. I have not called his name hardly this season. I don't know how many he has at the time of this game. It's got to be less than 5, I would imagine, but he gets a nice one here. We're going to spread the ball out a little bit as our offense just takes 3 plays to score now. And so we have a little bit of breath of life here. The game's not over yet, okay? We're only down 10 now. So with 4.5 minutes, we just have to get at least one more stop with the Eagles and score, obviously, in our next couple drives. And we should be in good shape here to potentially rally from behind. Can we pull off a comeback? Don't call it a comeback. As Donovan McNabb tries to silence the crowd here, he's got Just Staley behind him. And he's going to go with the handoff again here. The Eagles are going to probably try and play some keep away and kill some clock off, which is one of the things I hate about the quarter lengths here. Just I think the way the CPU is programmed is just like, oh, when it's within this type of situation with this much time left, just play conservative and run the ball. And even when it doesn't make sense, like only being up by 10 with most of the quarter left to go, but it is what it is. As the Eagles get another first down and they are working just past midfield. And they go with Staley again, who loves that left outside zone there. And he gets a little bit of room as Donovan Greer is injured yet again. He just came back from an injury, if not last week, then this week. But he is already injured again. But hopefully he's all right and he'll be back in just a couple plays as the Eagles get another first down. So only 2 minutes left. We're running out of options here. We've got to get a stop here on defense if we want a chance to come back. But our hopes are fleeting here. Is coming out of the 2-minute warning, it is 2nd and 7 for the Eagles. They send a man in motion, and McNabb's going to go with a handoff to Staley again, who makes a nice spin move, shakes off tackles, and he's got another first down as he is brought down by Kwame Lassiter. We're going to have to start blowing some timeouts. We need timeouts for our last drive here if we're gonna make a rally, but we cannot stop the Eagles from getting first down. So we gotta do something here. But the Eagles are well within field goal range, well within David Akers' kicking range. So we're probably going to have to make this comeback here even further down than just 10. As we do force the Eagles to a third down, but the clock is running. It is ticking. Just a minute left to go here. And Staley gets stood up by Greer, who did come back after just a couple plays. He was not injured seriously, thank goodness, because I just do not have an answer at cornerback. So they're going to send out David Akers with just a minute left to go. And he's going to boot this one through, and he is 3 for 3 on the day. A 48, a 38, and a 27-yard field goal as the Eagles go to a 13-point lead and put 30 points on our heads, which I think is the season high for our defense, allowing 30 points. I know the Rams and I think both the Panthers put only 24 on us. But 30 points here allowed to the Philadelphia Eagles, which is fitting as we floated up to Boston, who's got it again. Oh, man, he shakes off the tackles. He's got room. There's no one in front of him. 5 goal line touchdown. He's got it. 76 yards to the crib. And I thought maybe we would just get a nice chunk play, but David Boston shakes off the man. He throws him down, and he hasn't made a play like that all season long. Every time I make that play, it never really goes more so than just the catch, but there we get a huge bailout in just 15 seconds, and we are now down within just a touchdown as we try and go for the onside kick, and we can't get it. So that was our last gasp there. And the Eagles are going to go into victory formation and let the clock hit triple zeros, but we made a little bit of a rally there in that last minute. Thanks to David Boston's huge touchdown there at the end. We made it somewhat of a game. I guess you could call it a garbage time touchdown, but I'll call it a close one. This was a close one in my book. But we do hold our third L of the year, courtesy of the Philadelphia Eagles. And going into this one, when I recorded it, I didn't really think that we had a good chance to win, but I was still just going to play it as good as I can, just see what we could do here. And I left the record part in here just so y'all could see just how nuts, I guess, our offense went here in the last little bit of the game. I think all those records, passing yards for Boston and such, those are really on maybe like 2 or 3 throws, so it's pretty hilarious. But yeah, the stats here at the end of the game are pretty run-of-the-mill, bad on third down, pretty efficient in the red zone somewhat, you know what I mean, and offense didn't do terribly, so it was really our defense that let us down. We really couldn't get those stops to the Eagles when we needed them to. They ended up holding the ball for a majority of the game, and Deuce Staley ran all over us. But Jake Plummer did have a good game, which is, I guess, always good to see, even though this is most definitely his last season as a Cardinal. It's just nice that if we can lose, we can at least get, like, you know, a solid performance from him. Nothing doing for Thomas Jones, but David Boston is the MVP, of course, with 227 yards and 8 receptions and 2 touchdowns. Man, that is just nuts. That is MVP caliber talent, man. He definitely has to win some kind of award for that. So, breaking down our defense here, you see the way it's kind of spread out here and not a whole lot going on. We maybe only had 2 TFLs for the entire game, which is just rough. But Grammatica was 100%, so hey, I'll take these small victories anywhere where we can get them. But looking ahead now with our third loss, we dropped to 7-3 on the season. We got to bounce back into the win column, but we might not do it next week, as we have another tough opponent. This time coming to see us in the desert is the Oakland Raiders, who again outmatch us in most categories. But that doesn't stop us, so I hope to see you back in the desert in Sun Devil Stadium to take on these dominant Oakland Raiders.